So, do you think Anwar's government will last till the next election?
So that's probably the hardest thing to answer now. So when is the next election? That's one way to make sure he does. Well, it was so much fun last time. Let's do it again. Yeah. I think there isn't a viable alternative. So I think that will hold it. But this actually it gets back to sort of something I mentioned earlier is, whether you mentioned something that is worth the trade-off. So right now, what they've succeeded in doing, and I've complained about this publicly in the past, so, I don't mean to make this a hobby horse, but what they've succeeded in doing is taking power, this awkward coalition. And the goal seems to be just to stay in power, not to
Right,
govern. There are still no goals. There's no,
right,
there was that committee supposedly formed to look at their
right,
manifestos
right,
and
right.
see, wait, what was it that we promised again? What do we have in common? There actually
Yeah,
is a lot that's in common across the manifestos for not just BN and PH, but also for
right,
the East Malaysian parties and coalitions that are part of this. And yet, they're still echoing what happened for the last two iterations of the government post GE 14. There still
right,
isn't any sense of what is the agenda? For what are they governing? And so, yes, they may stay in power because once you're there, there's a degree of entropy, I think, and so they can cut off some challenges, and more to the point, if Perikatan couldn't form the government initially, there's nothing to say that magically they'll be able to now. In other words, it becomes a sort of vested interest. UMNO is already, backed down on its anti-DAP principles and joined DAP. Pakistan has joined Zahid. The loss or sunk
right,
costs already, and so there's all the parties involved in the government have a vested interest in staying there, and there isn't a viable alternative. The rumblings in Sabah, possibly Sarawak, if that then bleeds over, could perhaps destabilize to a certain extent, but not dramatically, and that seems to be hurting Bersatu more than anybody else. So yeah, I think that they can probably stay in power, but
right.
I'm just not sure what they'll do with that power. I don't foresee, a major reformist initiative or anything like that. It'd be nice if at least some things that are common to the platforms go through, but there just doesn't seem to be much of a will to test, how strong is consensus on policy. It's one thing to be in government together, but are they willing to share credit on whatever the government achieves beyond some basic,
Right,
giving people money type
right.
things, which are popular all around. And saying that even to say, okay, people can't withdraw more from their, retirement funds, that's just, a good moment of fiscal probity to say, people need those funds for something other than right now. And so I'm just not, I think they can stay in power. I'm
Right,
not sure how
right.
effective a government will
Thank you.
be.
So